So let me be clear, I am not a cupcake person. In fact, I hate cupcakes. I am currently a Weiss Bakery Associate at the Weiss and Forks, so maybe because my job involves decorating cupcakes is part of the reason that I've actually learned to like decorating cupcakes. So today I'll be showing you how to ice cupcakes by showing you the simple, fun, and unique task of what you need, the right technique, and how to get creative with it. So even though working in the bakery does give me an edge, by the end of this presentation, it should be something you all know how to do. So let's start with what you need to begin. So first you'll need an icing bag. The bag is very important because according to my source, Lindsay Kochar, a certified decorator, designer, and blogger, the bag starts as an even guide and spread to the icing, which will help provide the shape. According to my other source, certified decorator, and my coworker, Kimberly Euler, the bag is one of the most common mistakes that people make. They won't use a bag at all. So the bag is very important. Next, you'll need the correct tip. In this presentation, I'll be using the Wilton 2D tip, but I call it the large star tip. The reason I call it this is because the pattern that it comes out as provides the shape in which makes it look like a star. If you're not using the correct tip, it won't provide the right shape of the intended effect that you're going to want. According to both of my sources, they use a tip similar to this or this particular tip in their personal and professional designs. So again, you're going to need the correct tip. Next, you'll need icing, obviously. I'll be using buttercream icing. There are many different types of icing: buttercream, satin whip, cream cheese, peanut butter, fudge, anything you can really think of. But buttercream is what I'll be using because, according to both of my sources, it is the best for decorating and the thing that they use most for both of their designs. Buttercream is the most solid icing, one of the most solid icings, which means it holds its shape the best, which is what you want for decorating. You want it to have that shape and that cutting design that you want. So now that you know everything you need, you can begin to ice the cupcakes. Even though I already have a bag made up, I'll be going through all the steps on how to get to this point with the bag. When you have the bag, you're going to want to put the tip into the bag, and using scissors, you're going to want to cut it to accommodate the tip. This is so that the pattern can come out without the tip falling through the bag. Then I roll down the sides of the bag, and using a scoop or a spatula, I put the icing as far down into the bag as it will go. This is to prevent the icing coming out the top above your hand that's holding it closed and overflowing. Then once you feel like you have enough, roll the sides back up, and then I shake the bag to get all of the air bubbles out and get all of the icing to the bottom of the bag. This is so that it'll be ready to ice once you start. So now, taking your dominant hand, you're going to want to make sure that the icing fits right under the curve of your hand, right in your fingers. This is so that you're not squeezing too hard or too little when you're trying to pipe. Using your non-dominant hand, I usually hold the top of the bag closed. So Lindsay Kochar, one of my sources, stated that she uses a method where she puts a dollop of icing in the middle first. I'll be using Kim's method of just making rings around the cupcake, tighter and tighter, until you have a spiral pattern with the cupcake. So starting on a spot on the edge of the cupcake, you're going to begin to apply pressure and make a circle around the very edge of the cupcake and make those circles smaller and smaller until you get to the center. So then you have the spiral design. Again, you're going to start on the edge of the cupcake, make that circle around the edge, and make those circles tighter until you have that spiral pattern. So now you have iced cupcakes, and I'm going to show you how to enhance these with sprinkles. At my work, we use other things. You can use really anything, like candy pieces, chocolate shavings, but we'll be keeping it simple. Whenever I use sprinkles, I put them in my hand to disperse them. So obviously the most common method is probably to just put the sprinkles on the top. I use this method. I've seen people put the cupcake into the container of sprinkles. This can ruin the pattern you've just put on, or the icing can even slide off because you've been holding it upside down or at an angle. So I always make sure that I use my hand to put the sprinkles on. If you're feeling a little more adventurous with your cupcake abilities, you can put the sprinkles just on the side of the cupcake. So this method involves having the sprinkles in your hand and the cupcake in the other, and holding your hand at an angle. You're going to want to twirl the cupcake in a circle, around in a circle just on the edges, and this will result in a pattern that has sprinkles just around the sides. Kind of looks cute. So now you have perfectly decorated cupcakes and all the skills necessary to make them. You know what you need, the right technique, and how to get creative with it. So hopefully after this presentation, you're feeling more like a cupcake person than me. Thank you.